Welcome to my Fold 2 review. As a disclaimer, this video is not sponsored. Samsung didn't pay me anything nor send me any test device. This is my true and honest review of the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2. In a few words, this is a foldable done right. It improves over everything I didn't like in the first Fold. The ridiculous small cover screen is now an edge-to-edge display, and the ugly notch is gone, leaving just a small hole for the camera. The screen is bigger and it's now 120Hz. This phone feels like a finished product, while the first Fold was more like a prototype, like proof of concept kind of thing. But this is the real thing. This is the foldable everyone will want. The hinge is perfect. It will hold the phone at any angle you want, just like a mini laptop, while protecting the screen from ever getting exposed to dust and stuff like that. The main screen is amazing. It's not just a foldable screen. It's the same type of quality you expect from a Samsung flagship. 1440p at 120Hz HDR10+. Not even the Note 20 Ultra does that. When watching this video, it will only look as good as your display. Only in person you'll be able to see how good it is. And it is good. Speaking of the screen, the crease is there, but like I said in my last video, it's really not a big problem. I got the black model at first and the crease was minimal. It was impossible to see looking straight at the screen. I even recorded my gaming test video with that one and you just cannot see the crease. But I swapped it for the bronze model because the black is bad. It's just a fingerprint magnet. It will only look good like when you take it out of the box. It looks disgusting after 5 minutes of using. And it's a phone, you're not going to clean it every time you touch it. So anyway, I'm using this one now and it always looks good, but the crease is much worse. I wanted to say that the crease is not a problem, that it seemed impossible to see, you know, like in the Z Flip review. And this is absolutely true from my experience with the black model. But this model, the crease is kind of always there. Doesn't matter how you look at it or the lighting conditions, it's always there. So there seems to be some kind of crease lottery going on. I want to believe that this is just a couple of bad apples and that my experience with the black model is a normal. So if your crease is always visible, you probably should consider returning the phone, because I can assure you the crease really goes away when looking directly at the phone, and it's not really a big problem in the other model. Continuing with the screen, when watching a normal 16:9 video, it will be around 18% bigger than a Note 20 Ultra, which is already a big phone, while having a smaller footprint. But when watching a movie in those widescreen aspect ratios, it will actually be a bit smaller than a Note 20 Ultra. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. If you mainly wanted this to watch movies on a big screen, this won't give you the big screen you're expecting, because it's almost a square aspect ratio. So it will be bigger in normal 16:9 videos, much bigger in old videos shot in 4:3, and almost the same in movies. I'm going to talk really quick about the gaming experience because I already did a video about that. And in a few words, it's not great. Most games I tried simply don't scale very well in the big screen. You are literally losing 50% of the field of view, and this is a common theme across other apps. Apps don't scale very well. Almost every Android device has a wide aspect ratio. Developers just don't create their apps with square screens in mind. And don't even think they will start doing it, since Fold users are just a minority of a minority. You have the option to open apps in tablet mode, and honestly that should be the default option, but we all know how tablet app support is on Android. Calling it a hit or miss is being very generous, but on the apps that work, it does give you a better experience. On the apps that doesn't, you are still screwed with the scaling problems. The cameras are good. It's not the best of the best. That place belongs to the Note 20 Ultra. But we're getting to a point that it doesn't matter. The cameras on smartphones are mostly to share photos or videos to social media like Instagram or YouTube, but these sites compress every upload to a much smaller file, taking away all the small details that identify a better or worse camera. I took a photo with a DSLR, the Fold 2, Note 20 Ultra and S20 Ultra. Can you guess which is which? Probably not. Once uploaded to YouTube, they should look very similar, to the point that nobody really cares about the difference. You have to be really nitpicking and pixel peeping to spot a difference. When it comes to the main camera, I'll say that all these phones are more than good enough for social media. And in fact, I'm recording on the Note 20 Ultra right now. Did you notice a difference? Maybe, maybe not, but I'm sure you didn't care. Recording this on the Blackmagic or the Note 20, it's almost the same on YouTube. The only difference now is the other cameras, and that's why I gave the win to the Note 20 Ultra, because the 5x optical zoom is really good. The Fold 2 only has a 2x telephoto, and I feel that in 2020 having a 2x zoom, it's just a silly excuse to say you have 3 cameras on the back. The main camera can do a 2x crop with no problem. I'm not saying the telephoto is bad, I'm just saying it's not very impressive. Maybe a few years ago it was, but not anymore. A cool new feature is being able to use the cover screen as a viewfinder so you can take selfie videos or photos with the main cameras. This is how it looks like. And you have this huge screen to frame yourself. And you can have a really strong grip on the phone because you don't need to be afraid of misclicking anything. You can really hold the phone properly. This is a front screen selfie camera, and you can see it doesn't have image stabilization, so it's much more shaky. Let's change to this is the inside screen selfie camera, and again, no image stabilization, and I think they are the same, so the quality should be exactly the same. Just one more time with the rear camera, and you can see it's much more stable even without the super steady on. This is just the optical stabilization, and it's doing a much better job. Going on the super wide gets a bit more shaky, but still much better than using just a selfie camera. And you can use the zoom camera to creep on people on the street. I found the battery to be good enough. Even with a lot of testing and gaming and using the camera, the battery will last you a full day with no problem. A point that many people bring up is that this is a chunky brick and they think it's harder to fit in your pocket than a regular phone. But that's not true at all. It's more pocketable than my Note 20. In some jeans, sometimes the Note 20 kind of pokes out a bit, but the Fold just fits well since it's all around smaller and the extra thickness doesn't really matter when it's in the pocket. So no, if you're already used to big phones, the Fold 2 is actually easier to carry around and not harder like many of you think. What I love the most about this phone is the cover screen, which might sound crazy considering the phone freaking folds into a mini tablet, but to me it's what makes this phone complete. Before this one, I was using the Z Flip, and it's so annoying having to unfold the phone every time you just want to check a simple thing. Having a good screen on the cover means that you hold the power. You are never forced into an endless cycle of fold and unfold. When the phone is closed, it just works like any other phone. You have the cameras on the back, the selfie camera up top. It's a bit slimmer than a normal phone, but that just makes it great for one-handed use. You can do everything you do in a normal phone, but when you want, it turns into a tablet. And that freedom of choice to me is what makes this a great device. There's a bunch of stuff that I don't want to waste much time covering since all the other reviewers already cover it to death. Like being able to have 4 apps at the same time with one of them being a floating window, And yes, you can have two games on side by side. The stereo speakers, which sound okay, don't expect nothing crazy. And the flex mode, which only works in like 3 apps. Now let's talk about the price. It's $2,000. I've seen so many comments like, $2,000! For that price I could, and then they say completely random stuff like buy a used car, buy the new Nvidia with a 4K gaming monitor. And that's alright. It just means that to you, those things are more valuable. And if the first thing you think when you hear about the price is, for that price I could buy, then this phone is not for you. This phone is not for me as well. I'm not trying to sound arrogant. I considered a lot between the Note 20 and the Fold 2, and I went with the Note 20 Ultra. I'll talk about the reasons why I picked the Note 20 after using both phones extensively on my next video. Probably not my next video, the one after that. So subscribe if you don't want to miss it. But anyway, who's this phone for then? You know that really snobby saying that's like, if you have to ask the price, you can't afford it. It's a lame saying, but it holds true in this case. This phone is for people who look at it and are like, I want that. I said the same thing in my Z Flip review. This phone is not about being a good value for the price. It's about having the future of smartphones in your hand today. And that comes at a premium. I have no doubt that this is the future. Just like touchscreen smartphones dominate the market today, folding screens will dominate the market too. And this is the first good foldable. The hardware is perfect. The hinge feels so good. You can tell a lot of work went into it. The 120Hz HDR10 Plus 7-inch display that fits in your pocket is gorgeous to look at. There's nothing wrong with this phone's hardware. The only shortcomings I found are software related. And while a bit annoying, they really don't take much away from the experience of using this phone. That's how good it is and just feels on the hand. If you are looking for the most premium handphone experience, then this won't let you down. My name is Drew Hunter, thank you for watching and have a great day.